Alright guys, the Punisher Max 17 here today, and this is my review for the H&M Kotobukiya Liger Zero Schneider. Now I've already talked about this model a lot, pretty extensively in all my work in progress videos, and those are all on my channel if you're interested in seeing them. But this is just a review for basically everything that the Schneider armor does, all this CAS pack stuff. And I'm not going to talk about the articulation of the Liger Zero itself, because quite frankly, it's amazing. It can go in any sort of pose that you want. There's nothing you can't do with this Liger Zero core that, yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. It's really great, and there are some other reviews on YouTube of it. So if you're interested in that, look one of those up. But this is just for the Schneider armor. And first of all, let me say a few things about the kit. This is an amazing kit. I highly recommend it to anyone. One of the greatest kits I've ever built in my own opinion. And it looks good. In terms of building it, I really didn't have many problems. Everything went on nicely, everything went together nicely. I've had some people tell me that they had a lot of trouble getting their Schneider armor to stay attached to the Liger Zero core itself. But I really didn't. I don't know if that's because I painted it, and maybe other people didn't or something, I'm not sure. But for the most part, mine stays on quite nicely. Everything stays on. There's one exception here, and I'll show that to you. This piece right here just like slides everywhere. So if you want that to stay in place, you should glue it on. But I didn't on mine. It really wasn't too big of a deal. Other than that, the only piece that I have trouble keeping on is these right here occasionally fall off, but that's not too bad. Now there are a few pieces on here that you're required to glue. One of them is inside the Schneider armor of the head. Basically, you glue it in to keep these on. It's just a little peg in there. To be 100% honest, I'm not sure why they didn't just make that inside part and this piece the same thing. But yeah, you do have to glue that, and they recommend you glue these parts right here. You see this part up here is one piece, and then these little fin parts are a separate piece. They recommend in the manual that you glue those, but that's not a necessity. But it will help, to be honest. And if you do that before painting, then you can get it to be one solid piece and remove those seam lines, which I didn't do. I didn't read the manual close enough, I guess. But that's okay. Anyway, let's get to the review of this guy itself. The Schneider armor has a lot of great little features to it. And let's start at the head. All of these, and this just fell off, you do have a little bit of trouble with these bottom ones, I forgot to say. I'm going to leave that off for the time being just because of what I'm doing. But all of these right here, these blades, go down like so. So that basically, you know, if Schneider's got somebody right here at him, then he can just point out all those blades on him, just like spear them right through. And similarly, these blades come around. Sometimes you got to bend them down into place a little bit, like so, as well as these ones. But because of how much difficulty I have keeping those blades on, I'm just going to let you know it does do that. And like I said, I got to get this blade back in position. There we go. Sometimes these blades can be a bit of a pain, to be completely honest. I personally like this kind of mode of it myself, just leaving all the blades up, and it's easiest that way too. Now all of these parts right here, I'm not entirely sure what they are. They have little thrusters on the back, so I'm not sure if they actually are thrusters or what, but yeah, it's not focusing, but those right there are some thrusters, along with right in there on the back of all those parts. But these close like so, and they open back up to reveal just kind of like a full thruster mode, I guess, or something. I'm not good with terminology on pretty much any kit, and you can probably tell that, but you get what I'm saying. Those two, the side ones and this one down here, all open and close doing that. Now let's move on here. These parts here, which I told you have a penchant of not staying on, this little flap opens. That's about as far as it goes open, but it will go all the way closed. Again, just little thruster kind of parts, that sort of deal. These right here, Yet again, thrusters. Open, close, and that's on the front and the back. They don't open and close a whole lot. They actually don't open and close as much as I expected they would, but that's okay. Now these blades, these can be kind of complicated, mainly for the fact that they're pretty tough to get down. Because of the size of the armor, they're really tough to get them down, and you're likely to scrape some stuff up if you do it. But it goes down, and you can see having it down, it's in this kind of blade back mode. But you can take the blade and take all of it and go forward like so, and then you can yet again bend this for a forward facing blade. So if you want all those blades on the face and these blades on the side all facing forward at one enemy, you can do it. This thing is pretty much I don't know what to say, it's overkill, you know. Alright, so get that back up there. To be honest, that little transition back up wasn't as difficult as the first few times I did that whenever I was taking photos of this guy for my work in progress. That was actually pretty difficult the first time, so I'm happy that that was easier. I don't know if I just got something right into place or what, but that's good. Let's see, and it does that on both sides, of course. One of these sides is a little loose for me, for a reason that I'm not entirely sure. It's fit into place and everything, just like it should be, but it is a little loose. So, I don't know if that's something to watch out for or what, but yeah. And finally, on the tail here, you see you get two attachments for the tail. You get this Schneider attachment, and then you get the Liger Zero core attachment, which is just pretty much a gun. And the gun's actually really cool. Would have been nice if they could have integrated into the design of this, maybe just having it come out here and this just be like a cap over it, but that's okay. Anyway, these blades here go all the way in, like so, and then come all the way out, like so. And yeah, that's pretty much all the little features of the Schneider that I can think of. I don't think I'm missing anything, but yeah, it's a really nice model kit. I'm sure you can see that it's pretty cool. In my opinion, it sure is, at least. This is honestly my favorite model kit I've ever built, and I'm very happy with it. Very happy with how it turned out. I couldn't have asked for anything better. There is one other part I wanted to talk about this with the build of it, and that's the head. I mentioned this in the work in progress, but this head is actually really difficult to put on. For any of you guys who are currently building this or are going to be building in the future, a little tip is that in the manual it tells you to put all of this stuff on the sides of the head before actually clamping it to the Liger Zero core. It tells you to put these thrusters, these blades, these thrusters, everything on there, and then put the two pieces together. And that's a very bad idea. I did that and it didn't go on right. It was angled incorrectly, and I was honestly pretty worried that I was going to snap the thing trying to get it back apart and into place. So take these orange side pieces, you can see them in my work in progress, the side of the face, put those onto the Liger Zero first, and then well, put those sides with these up here, because these would be difficult to put on afterwards. But these the side blades and these side thrusters, put those on afterwards. It's a whole lot easier, trust me. You don't have to worry that you're going to break something, because I really was. So yeah, and there's one other thing. I wanted to compare this to the old Hasbro, or Tommy if you're Japanese, release of the Liger Zero Schneider. Here, mine, I have the old one, and something just fell off of it, so I got to put that on before I put it in frame here. It is. This is the old one, and this is the new one. And I think it's pretty obvious which one is better here. And I forgot to put the tail onto this. I think the tail's down on one of my other shelves somewhere, but you know the idea of it. You can see this thing is bulky. This thing is bulky as can be and very, very simplistic. And you can see how this is much sleeker, much more almost realistic in a sense, that, you know, if somebody were to actually make Zoids, it would be this slim, sleek, fast thing instead of tons of bulk. Now granted, they had to do it like this because these are motorized models and they need room for the motor, but in my own opinion, these HMMs are where it's at. Not that there's anything wrong with these old models. They're great for nostalgia value. I loved them whenever I was a kid. But in terms of collecting Zoids nowadays, I'm all about these HMMs. So yeah, that should be it for the review. You know, if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below, and like, subscribe, do anything you want there. So, thanks for watching, guys, and I hope you liked the review. So, I'll see you next time.